Hi, I'm Derek from Good Times Marine. Today I'm with Steve Mclay. We're going to have a bit of a chat about the history of the company because Mclay, some people haven't heard of Mclay, especially in Australia, because it's not a high-profile brand over there, but the brand has been around a long time. You guys have been knocking boats together for how long now?
32 years, Derek.
Wow.
First boats we started doing in 1987.
Goodness me. So I guess the very first question is, what made you get into boats and what were you doing beforehand to prick that interest?
Okay, I had a partner back then, a business partner, and we used to do a lot of farm engineering and a few truck bodies and that sort of thing, but always had an interest in boats, weren't brought up with them, and we built a couple and they weren't real flash back then, they weren't designed to be sold, but people did start taking notice, so we thought, well, maybe there is something in this.
Okay.
So for the next 2 or 3 years we started building 20 or 30 boats a year, and they were selling okay, and then we had to decide, well, are we going to do general farm engineering and truck bodies, or are we going to be boat builders? So we made the decision in the early 90s that we would go solely into boats, and wow. Here we are. History, 32 years later, we're still flat out doing boats, but now in a brand new premises, well, 12-year-old premises, that's been purpose built, and it's all going very well, thanks to it.
So the early models, were they smaller boats, or were you always building these bigger hardtop style?
The first ones were runabouts and cuddies. Around that, they used to be back in called feet. We did a 17-foot and a 19-foot. A 17-foot and an 18-foot was the original ones we did. Okay. Called B1700 and B1800.
So we saw that B1900.
That's right.
In the shed just before.
Yeah.
How long? So I'm assuming that would be what, 5 or 10 years into the Mclay brand.
Yeah, that would have been a good 5 years into it. Yep. That was originally made as a cuddy, and the hardtop's been put on later.
Oh right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and but that is one of our early boats.
So we were outside earlier and we saw another quite large boat, which looks like it's had a hardtop retrofitted onto it. Is that the kind of thing you're getting with customers with older boats coming back?
That boat's an ex-commercial boat. It was operating in the Marlborough Sounds, a very big tourist area, and originally it was surveyed for, from memory, 19 or 20 people, and it was all seats for carting people around the Abel Tasman National Park. Okay. Since been sold on to a private customer, and he wanted to have it as a hardtop, so he's brought it to us, and we've retrofitted the hardtop to it, so it's something we're able to do. Still in very good condition, considering it's done thousands of hours and worn out several outboards. Yeah. And it'll have another lease of life as a family boat.
Very, very good. The transition across to this pretty amazing facility, at what point did you start developing using the CAD to design? So I'm assuming in the early days you were running with jigs, the traditional way of building the boat?
We were, and originally cutting out with using ply patterns and running the skill saws around it. Very noisy, not very accurate, but around 20 years ago we put in our first CAD cutting machine and wore that one out about 3 years ago, and since replaced it. And but for a long time we were just doing 2D CAD, so in other words we're simply transferring our old patterns to cut out in a 2D, but now we're 3D designing on the computer. So as things evolved over the years, we've got smarter and cleverer in what we do.
So I'm assuming the testing ground in here would be pretty rough. I know you've got that beautiful lake just down the road, but you've got offshore access here for testing.
Yes,
offshore.
Yes. Not only have we got the open sea, we have a bar crossing, which always creates challenges, but also puts up good sized waves at times that we can do real good testing on. And we run down a river about 10 kilometres to get to the sea. And the beauty of our testing here is when we come back, by the time we get back to where the trailer is, we're back in fresh water. Okay. So sure, we've got to wash our boat, but the motor and that's already flushed, so we've never had to flush motors. So something a little unique in our part of the world, be able to test our boats like that.
So you do everything in-house here? There's nothing's outsourced, so upholstery's done in-house, your CAD drawing's done just next door?
That's right, yes.
Is there anything outsourced at all?
The windscreens, which are very specialised, are made in Christchurch, so it's still New Zealand made. But other than that, everything, including shipping. We've got our own truck carting the boats throughout the South and North Island. Container, obviously, for the export side of it. But no, being a small town, we find it's much better to have everything in-house, and that way you've got much better quality control over it as well, particularly for the painting areas, upholstery, those sort of critical areas. It's much better, we feel, to have it in-house.
Well, that will probably lead me to the next question, which is to do with the Raptor.
Yep.
It's obviously an incredible bit of engineering, the way you've designed those wheels to fall out of the bottom of the boat effectively, and the back wheels to fold up. Where are you taking this business moving forward? Are you going to stay very focused around this styling of boat here, or is the Raptor a bit of a hint of some of the direction you're going to be taking moving forward?
The Raptor is a hint of where we are going to be heading, but it's not going to be detrimental to our main range of boats. We realise the main range of boats have still an incredible future. The Raptor is very much an addition. It's not, rather than going to start cutting into our production of the other boats. But we do feel the amphibious side with this bow door is something that does have a future, and we're keen to pursue that for the next few years as like I said, as an addition to what we're doing. We don't want to cut our numbers to do them. We've got to be able to do additional ones for them. Yeah.
Very, very good. Well, we've already done a tour through the whole factory. It's obviously very impressive to see something set up and the flow of the whole shop right through to the finishing area at the back. 32 years is a good effort, and it sounds like you've got a fair few years yet to go. You've got a fairly bright vision for where you're taking
yeah, probably not another 32 though. Yeah. And I've got a son in the business now, and he's obviously taking more and more role doing the CAD drawing and that sort of thing. He's been a boat builder, been on the tools, so he's getting very skilled. But yeah, I'm certainly not going to be going anywhere in a hurry, albeit that might be making changes at the top in the next few years.
Very good. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Derek.
It's a pleasure doing business
Great
with
for you to come over.
And good to hear about the history of the business, and it's a long heritage behind the way these boats look today.
Yeah, thank you. Great.